All depends on what it is. I mean, fertilizer quarterly, insecticide as needed. Try to put FIP out in springtime, a little bit before spring, March. What else? Yeah, pretty much it.
What are you doing for weeds?
Round up the beds. For the St. Augustine, is it, not the Smiths, why is this?
It's old age, John.
Yeah, no, Celsius. Yeah, spraying Celsius with atrazine, but you can only spray atrazine certain times of year. You can't spray in the summer; it's too hot.
Yeah.
So this time of year, when it starts cooling down, we will go to atrazine.
Are you using Celsius Extra?
No, just regular Celsius.
Get Celsius Extra.
What's in it? What's the extra?
It also kills sedge. Yeah.
Celsius. Celsius.
It's new.
And romet salt too. That's what we couple that with to get this edge. Celsius.
Okay, thank you, John. Jeff?
Okay, yeah. So we've been redoing the Pro Shop, as you guys well know, the Pro Shop Remediation, as it's been called. Yeah, they tore out all the insulation, all the ceilings. They found mold. There was a leak coming over from Duffy's, from their, what do you call it, soda room.
Beverage station.
Beverage station. The wall was wet. There's rust at the bottom. There was all kinds of stuff they found. Yeah, it's a wonder we all don't have black lung, but anyway, we survived. We were closed for 4 or 5 days. 4 days. We couldn't even be in there, and then we went back in. They had portable air conditioners that didn't work very well. It was 90 degrees in there. And then Kobe came out the following week and did a great job, put in new ductwork, did all that. Then he came in and started doing the ceiling at night, and they're in the process of finishing. Kobe's there today, putting in the final vents for the air conditioning in the snack bar in the ladies' room. New lights in the ladies' room. It's bright in there. You could call it a tanning booth almost. And the snack bar is well lit now. Friday they'll be out to drop the irrigation, but sprinkler to drop it down where it'll fit under the ceiling. For some reason they didn't build the ceiling to the sprinkler height. I have no idea why. And they'll be in to paint the wall where they redid the wall coming from Duffy's, which Duffy's is paying for. We're not. Eileen championed that, drive them to get them to pay for it, and they're going to pay for it.
Yeah, water came from them.
Water came from them, so it's the same flip side as when they redid over there. There was water when Skip would clean our bathrooms, which he pressure washes and does a really great job of cleaning the bathroom, considering we run 40,000 plus people through the bathroom, one urinal and one toilet. And one toilet in the women's room. I think he does a great job of keeping it clean best he can. There was some water apparently leaking through from when he pressure washes it, so we paid for the recaulking and all that on there, so consequently they should pay for ours, and they are. So that's where we're at. Hopefully we will be finished this week and we'll get to reset the shop, put the stuff back together. Despite all that, the golf shop has still done $5,800 in business merchandise-wise. That's pretty good. And I think a lot of that's got to do with the young Peyton and her efforts. And I'm real proud of her. So it's a good job. In that same vein, we talked earlier jokingly that Bobby left. Most of you guys know Bobby left. I mean, and we brought John Jerkovac over. John was the golf professional at Cross Creek. He was a golf professional at Pelican Sound at one point. He's been to Bend, Oregon. I worked with him at Del Toro back in the day. He was at Lockmore. I replaced him at Lockmore years ago. 30 years ago. Me and JJ have been friends for a long, long time. He is an excellent golf professional. He knows his business, he knows how to handle it, and it's a very different aspect for me. For the last 10 years, I've been teaching young assistants, including Bobby and Zach and Josh and Ben and so forth and so on. We've populated a lot of Southwest Florida with golf pros. And now we have a golf pros pro, a pros pro, as they would say, working for us. I don't know how long John will be with us. I'm sure at some point he'll probably want to go another club, but he's getting later in his career. It might be a situation where this is good for him and comfortable, and we'll see what happens. But I'm very pleased with what he's done so far, and I think he's going to help me a lot as far as getting Tyler up to speed as a young pro and helping Peyton grow as a manager, as a pro shop manager and merchandiser. And he's going to be a big asset to us.
I think it's good because I think we need a little more maturity in there. Not that you're not, Jeff, I don't mean that. But I think with all the,
Well, that's questionable, Eileen.
I know, that's not, sorry. I'm just trying to be nice.
I know, but I'll be honest here,
But no, I do think it's really good for,
Yeah, JJ's a good asset. He's going to work out well. As you see, I gave you guys the business through September, through the 26th, which was Sunday. We're $2,000 ahead of budget. We'll probably finish somewhere between 10 and 15, depending on what we do in the next couple days. Once again, the pro shop is over budget, despite being basically in pieces. Snack bar, same. Snack bar's basically been tore down since the first of the month, but yet we've still been able to do $5,000 out there. So end of the month, we're looking at another 10,000 plus the budget. And for the first time since I've been working here, we've done over $3 million gross. So,
great job.
well, I didn't invent COVID, Chinese did, so,
Do we
I mean,
send them a thank
as
you?
weird as it may sound, and I said it before, COVID was the best thing ever happened to the golf business. That's crazy, and Phil knows too. I mean, it's just insane.
Good and bad.
Yeah, it's good and bad. I mean, you can't get stuff, and like if you're looking to get golf shoes from us, probably not going to happen because we're having a hard time getting shoes and clothes, but we're getting there. We're working at it. The beverage cart, we had talked about wrapping it. I still don't have the cooler inset to wrap, so as soon as we get that, we'll wrap it. I talked to the guys at sign guy that I use. They're going to wrap that thing.
With what?
They'll try to put something pretty on there to make it look pretty.
Not advertisement or anything.
Well, maybe. Stony Brook. Yay.
We're going to pay for an advertisement?
How about TaylorMade? TaylorMade pays for it.
How about we call Jack Mancini and see how much...
Jack will definitely.
I think we went into that well one too many times.
Yeah, maybe TaylorMade could help us.
Yeah, just kidding.
Wouldn't mind seeing Jack's face around the golf course one more
Wouldn't that
time.
be great?
I might.
He might enjoy that.
Yeah. What do you think, Phil? Yeah. Got a call the other day, the Christmas parade's back on. Junior golf's going great. Tyler's done a great job with the kids. Chrissy, Gabby, who played for me at Bishop Row, now working for us, going to FGCU. She's helping with the kids. The program seemed to be going good. All the parents seem to be happy and excited. Under Armour Junior Tour, we've done business with them. Got a couple more events with them. We're just growing and growing with that. In our adult programs, me and JJ will be tackling those coming up. We'll get some boot camps going and maybe sip and chip, and we'll do some things. The tent's going back up tomorrow. I was a little leery of doing it, but I mean, we've got an event Sunday and we got Pete's event coming up in a couple weeks, so we're gonna put it up. If we get a hurricane warning, they'll come take it down. And I got an email yesterday, and some of you guys saw it. Some person has decided that they've sought legal counsel in some incident that happened when we were closed. There was rumors if somebody tripped and fell over the sign that says we're closed. I never got any confirmation of that, but apparently now they've seeked legal counsel and want to talk to our insurance.
And we have no pictures,
We have no pictures, no video, no nothing.
nothing.
And we really don't even know what the true incident was, because in the letter, it really didn't explain that out. Chuck thought somebody got hit by a golf ball. I'm like, no, we were closed. I hope somebody got hit by a golf ball. So we'll try to get to the bottom of that mystery as we go along.
Yeah.
Can we just settle with a free round of golf?
I don't
At
know.
80 years old, I'm not sure she
Make
said.
an offer.
Make an offer.
They
2 free rounds of golf.
They had an official letter from a lawyer,
Supposedly, it got thrown out.
an East Coast lawyer.
No signature required.
Did they see what the damages were to them?
Have you seen it?
Yeah, I was forwarded, and it purports to be a notice of claim, but I won't go any further than that, and Chuck's referred it to the carrier.
Yeah. Well, I talked to Joe, the insurance guy, yesterday. But, I'm like, I don't really know. I mean, it was all rumor.
And there's no pictures,
And I
No,
would
there's
suggest no response is needed,
No description,
nothing.
no pictures.
no date, right?
Yeah.
So that's where we're at with that, just bringing you guys aware. We're
Maybe
looking
she was in
forward,
another course.
I thought there was a date on the letter.
we're looking,
June
The
4th.
letter stated, but I thought they stated.
What's your date in there?
June 4th,
June 4th.
June 4th.
Yeah.
June 4th.
Yeah, we were closed that day. That was the Friday right after Memorial Day. Remember, we were closed Tuesday through Friday?
Right.
That was the Friday
Yeah.
of that week.
Did you want to bring up the concession stand,
What about?
the alarm?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
So when we were in the process of redoing the concession stand, we had a little bit of petty theft. Somebody broke through one of the sliders. If you've ever been in a concession stand, there's sliders there, they slide open, and slide them closed, and they're locked at night. They broke through and broke off one of them and robbed the cash out of the register. Originally, we didn't know what was going on, and they come back, and I put money in to make it so the girls could work, and they come back and stole the money I put in. Long story short, some kids fessed up to it, or fessed up that they knew somebody who did it. I haven't heard any more about that, but it is what it is.
Some kids were bragging that, yeah, we stole stuff from the pro shop.
Yeah, they stole from the snack bar.
Yeah, so,
Two things. We did have the locksmith come out, and he fixed the window, and now it's able to lock. And then I called our alarm company, and they're going to put an alarm on the snack bar on the windows, and so next time the alarm will go off when they break, if they were to do that again. It never happened in the 10-plus years I've been here. I don't know, just all of a sudden they decided they want to rob the snack bar. And then uniquely enough, they didn't steal any beer or food. They just stole the cash.
Professionals.
just wanted the money.
Yeah, but professionals, like, what was the old expression? I'm not going to jail over a couple $100, rob somebody and really rob them.
Yeah,
I mean, it was, you could tell it was kids.
yeah.
With the guy that goes into the convenience store and asks for the cigarettes and everything behind the counter except the money.
I don't know about names. I haven't heard any.
It's, it's, what I received is that somebody said, oh, by the way, Chris Brady was bragging that he did this, so. It wasn't Chris. Well, it was Mike DeBrino. And it's like secondhand, that, so this kid actually hasn't come up and said, I did it, but has bragged to his friends and they've said. So I know.
Resident?
It appears to be. But we don't know, and I've been working with Tammy on that.
Couple on both.
Yeah.
$350 in total
Yeah.
between the 2 days.
Yeah, about 350.
But I mean, this time it was just the cash. What if they go in there next time and take stuff and destroy stuff?
I thought the cash went into a safe at the end of the day.
No, just a drawer stays out there. We don't
Not
have
anymore.
Okay. Didn't we have a safe?
We have a little safe, and that, when we used to carry a lot of cash, like when we run
Right.
cash in a pro shop, yeah,
The weekly bank run.
but $250, I mean, like the night deposit goes in the safe, but they keep the drawer, they just stole from the drawer, the petty cash.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, the other thing would be, we've gone completely credit card in the pro shop. I would like to go completely credit card in the snack bar, but a lot of complaining about that when we did that. We tried to do that during COVID when we were no touch cash. And just, what, I'm $2, I got $2 for soda or two, and it's like, okay. So we went
Well-
back to cash.
Well, there are other places that do that, so maybe we can start weaning people into doing that.
Yeah.
Now,
Well, there's also a lot of guys that don't want their wife to see how much beer they're buying at the golf course. So,
Yeah, there you go.
trust me on that one.
Oh, I know.
put it under hats.
So we don't want to deter sales over.
Right,
petty cash.
yeah, overdoing it. I mean, I think it's working out okay. We had a couple kids hit us once, $350. And $350, $350, 100 of it's mine. Yeah, it's okay, we'll survive, but, that, down the road as the options become better, where maybe you get to a certain situation where your wife doesn't see your transactions, and maybe we could go to a non-cash system.
And just swap out the coding, so that way it says soda. She's like, man, you drink a lot of soda.
Road sodas?
Road sodas?
Road
Put
sodas.
beverage, that's all you need.
Pops.
Yeah, anyway.
Pops.
All right, that's all I have.
All right, thank you. Johnson Engineering, this is, Chuck, this is the agreement for them to do the,
This is just a general services agreement, so,
Right.
from time to time, you'll have them in here to ask them questions, have them look into minor stuff, something that doesn't require a specific supplemental services agreement.
okay.
Yeah.
And this is also where they're going to do the road survey.
Nope, that's a separate agreement.
That's a separate
Yeah,
agreement.
They're currently working under that one.
Okay, all right, so this is just a general
This is
agreement.
just general services agreement, yeah.
Okay,
With a not to exceed 5K, which, as little as we use them, you probably won't exceed 1K. to
Right.
Have them sit in one of these meetings, so.
okay, very good. Can I have a motion to accept this agreement with Johnson Engineering?
I'll make that motion.
All in favor? Opposed? Okay, that's good.
Thank you.
All right. Discussion, common area landscaping, I think we've
I think we exhausted.
done that, so we can move on. The Landscape Committee, I spoke with Scott Smith, and they are doing a removal and the initial plan. He thought it would be done by yesterday afternoon. He apologized that it was not. Once I get that from him, Chuck, I will send it to you so the board can look at it and we can discuss it next week at the meeting. But I will call him again with regard to the other thing. But I know they've been out here several times looking at different things and doing things. So we're on board with that, and they've been keeping me in the loop with everything. So we're good with that. Any questions on that? Also, when I get that from them, I will send it to the Landscape Committee so they can look at it and we can talk about it before the next board meeting. Update on the Pro Shop Remediation, I think we've killed that one as well. Does anybody else have any questions? Oh, I do want one thing with the Pro Shop Remediation. When you go down that hallway where the copier room was, and they took that cabinet out, that cabinet was tossed, we're not putting that back. And since they had to repaint the wall and we didn't have the matching paint, we are painting it
Green,
Augusta green.
Augusta green.
So that'll be there.
Accent wall is what they call it in a fancy
Yes,
term.
accent wall, just into accent walls.
Madam Chairman, we want to talk about the lease amendment at this time, or wait until?
Yes.
And I have some handouts with the board.
Yes. Now, with the Pro Shop remediation, the landlord did agree to have us pay this over an 18-month period. At the last board meeting, we did agree to do that at $45,000. There's been a couple adjustments with regard to the light fixtures in the concession stand were all rusted and had to be replaced, so that was an increase. Also, all the clothes that were in the pro shop, they had to, because they could have been moldy and it could have increased the mold level, they had to take those and fumigate them or clean them. But there were some, so those were some increase adjustments. There were a couple adjustments that for the wall. Duffy's will be paying for that. That's number one. Number two, some of the vendors that gave us, time and a half hours overnight, some of them were able to come in during the day on Monday when we were closed, so that was reduced. So I think we passed this out. The original approval was for $45,000. The total with the adjustments comes to $47,409.48. And this will be paid over 18 months as part of the lease.
That's correct, Madam Chairman, members of the board, I have. And I revised, I think you saw the note that was in the package initially, in the draft lease addendum. And I think the important parts are the note is now for $47,409.48 with 18 equal monthly payments beginning October 1st of $2,633.36. And the lease and the promissory note are cross default. In other words, if there's a default under the lease, there's a default under the note, and a default under the note creates a default under the lease. And so we have the revised, if the board wishes to have the red line version with the revisions that reflect those changes to both the lease and to the promissory note. So Madam Chair, if you want me to pass those out, or?
Yeah, so everyone can have a copy of that. The other thing with that too is if the, hopefully when the sale of the building goes through, this note will be due in full, which is standard.
Yeah, and it's interest-free unless there's a default.
Right.
That's the note, I'm sorry. Sure. That's the,
These were just the,
I'm sorry, two different documents, because the draft, the note becomes an amendment to the lease addendum also.
right. So, with any construction, you know that there's going to be an increase somewhere along the way. Originally, they had said $50,000 over 18 months. We went to the 45. I think they've been reasonable with that. Not that I want to pay any more, but it's done, and we don't really have a choice, and it's over the 18 months. Tony, any comments?
Nothing further to add.
So, yes, I need to have a motion to approve this.
Approve the fifth lease addendum and the promissory note.
I need a motion to approve the promissory note and the fifth lease amendment.
I'll make a
Addendum.
motion.
Second.
All in favor? Opposed? Okay,
Thank you.
thank you.
I'll prepare clean versions and send them to Chuck or to you or to
It's both.
Okay.
With that, something else I was going to say about that. So that's all done. I mean, again, hopefully this sale will go through and this is all not for naught, but that's where we are. Okay. Tony, thanks for working on that. I know it was back and forth, back and forth, back and forth.
You had a nice conversation with Mr. Gargano, the attorney
good.
for Mr. DeSalvo. So
Okay.
it's, we agreed that we'll both be called Tony, neither would be called Anthony. So
Okay,
that
good.
was-
Yeah, it was,
No, it was good. It was a good conversation.
yes.
And as part of that, if I can segue, Madam Chairman, to the next item.
Yes.
On the issue about the trade secrets aspect, I have a scheduled phone call with Mr. Gargano tomorrow
Okay.
to sort of go through the bullet points of what they need to prepare to submit, to try to couch the documents they submit as being confidential and exempt, by being trade secrets. I provided Mr. Gargano the cases that sort of go through the roadmap for how you do that.
Okay.
So I just want to talk with him about that. So
Okay.
we can hopefully have that information before you for the next board meeting in a confidential and exempt manner.
Okay. Now, I just have a question. When this agreement is finally agreed upon, who would be able to see these documents?
Well, it's not, based on the research I performed, it's not an agreement, but it's a submittal
Okay.
of material and information. as trade secrets, the only persons that would have the opportunity would be the board, council, and management.
But it would be the whole board
Individually, yes.
individually, so,
And with the caveat to each board member not to disclose it.
oh, okay.
And same as for John and Jeff, because I think they're part of the, administrative management aspect of it. I think that'd be important.
Now, would the
Chuck, you
appraiser,
agree? And Chuck also.
okay, would the appraiser who's doing this be a part of it?
I'm not sure, I don't, probably not.
Okay.
Only reason I ran into an issue recently with another district where that district is interested in selling some acreage around it. That's part of the island, and they own 48 acres that they acquired years ago. And curiously enough, the Florida legislature, and maybe we can talk to our local representatives and senators, including Mr. Rodriguez, allows appraisals by cities, counties, and water management districts to be confidential. But it does not address those for CDDs. So you have to appreciate that aspect. So the appraisal may not be
Okay.
necessarily.
Could, and since Jeff Pinder does all our accounting, would Jeff be,
I think Jeff is part of his management, I consider it part of the district manager.
The management administration
Okay.
umbrella.
Yeah, I would be very comfortable with that, because, again, that's the necessary staff and personnel to review it.
Okay.
And to the extent that I can work with Mr. Gargano to craft a valid, legitimate trade secret submittal, depending upon what the basis for the appraisal is, whether or not that could be confidential and exempt. Because there's different methods of valuing property. You have, all kinds of, one of my fun ones was a contributory value one time. And that's another whole esoteric discussion
Okay.
about it. So whether or not it'd be rate of return, whether or not it would require confidential information from TAC to provide that or not, that's something I'll work with Mr. Gargano on. I'll
Okay.
specifically mention the appraisal aspect.
okay, very good. Oh, and Chuck, real quick, I just want to run back to the remediation. I did ask Jeff Pinder. He said that this additional $2,300 would be come out of the rent, but each month they would transfer that from the building maintenance, or to the building maintenance.
Okay. So I'll bring it down each month.
Yeah, so that'll bring that down each month, but, and I did contact Lucy and Jeff yesterday to tell them that Jeff Nixon would contact them today with the total amount to be sent out FedEx to TAQ today.
Well, one thing really quick on that same note. So I budgeted $65,000 for this. In that number was two other things. One was the starter shack that we have is collapsing. It's falling apart. Lloyd found a guy in town that's going to build us one. It's about $2,500. And then the other thing is the ice and water machine at the snack bar is on its last leg, so it's going to need to be replaced. I'll probably try to wait till January till our cash is a little bit different for that.
Okay.
We'll do that in January, but those were budgeted in that $65,000.
And remember, Jeff, the $45,000, the $47,000 is over
Right.
18 months, so just,
Yeah, so some of it will go into next year.
next year, so we'll have to remember that. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Actually use the shack?
Yeah, they do.
Okay.
Especially in the winter. I mean, I know it's not cold, but I mean, it's cold when you're...
Yeah, when you're hanging out there.
It's cold.
Yeah.
Well, you would know.
I know, it's cold.
Yes. Okay. All right, I'm sorry to digress back to there, but, okay, so we'll have the building information next month. Thank you. So things are going along smoothly with Mr. Gargano?
Yes, we've got pleasant conversations, all business-like, but professional and pleasant.
Okay, good. Very good.
That's a first.
All right, our next order of business is the Corkscrew Road sidewalk easement. I put the information in here with the sidewalk easement from the village. And okay. I just have a couple questions. And Dave Willems is here from the village, so Dave will be asking you questions. On number 5, grantor may use the easement for landscaping except for trees. Okay, so we can't put trees there?
Where the easement is located, the easement is really just the sidewalk and a little bit of land outside the sidewalk, so we wouldn't want to tree right next to the sidewalk, so we just break it up.
Okay, all right. My other question was, I have to, and we've discussed this before, I'm a very visual person. Looking at this, it looks like, what I need to know is from the sidewalk and the easement, how much property will we still have as a buffer for the people of Weymouth? I mean, I kind of feel like we're not going to get the coverage that we need to have a sound barrier, whether it's trees or a wall or whether. I need to, John and I are going to go out there and look. I just don't, to me, it doesn't look like I'm going to have much room to do anything there.
So a couple of things. First, I can give you a cross-section. So
Okay.
I'll show you exactly what it looks like, kind of as a side view.
Okay.
So you'll get those distances. I should be able to have that probably Thursday.
Okay.
You're working on that. Johnson's time there too as well.
Okay.
So I can do that, and then as we get a little bit further along, I can have a surveyor state where that edge of that sidewalk would be so that we can actually see what it looks like out there.
Okay. Again, I'm a very visual person,
Yeah,
and
no,
looking at this
that's
is,
really important.
I know, you can just look at this, we talked about it prior, there's not a whole heck of a lot of space out there,
yeah.
and
I mean,
most likely we'll need space to put something,
yeah, I mean, I just,
some type of sound barrier over there.
right. And,
Generally, what the concept is that the flat area on that berm will really, most of that will be remain. Most of where we're putting the sidewalk is really that slope that's coming off of the berm. We're going to fill up to the flat area and put the sidewalk there. So the flat part of the berm and then the back side will be available for landscaping.
okay.
And that'll show in the process.
Okay, I really need to see it before I can commit one way or another, because to me, looking at what was torn down, and that you're going to put another 10 feet in a buffer, I mean, I just,
Well, but it doesn't exactly work that way because it's not another 10 feet. Most of that 10 feet is on the road side of where that buffer was.
Yeah, it looks like the sidewalk's moving, compared to the old one, it's kind of zigzagging a little bit, so that swell is now going to be on the left side of the sidewalk. It's not going to stay on the right side like,
It won't be a swale.
it won't be a swell, it'll just be
The swale will
the,
be gone. We're going to fill in that swale, and that's why we can put the sidewalk in.
okay.
So yeah, we'll show you all that.
Okay, and,
I think the important thing now is do the words in that document, if we can agree on the location, does that work for some? That's really the first question. And the second question is, does the location of it work? And we can get through that with the section, and then we'll stake it out.
yeah, I really need to see the, I mean, Tony, are you okay with the verbiage?
I have a number of questions and or comments.
Okay, please.
So it might be best for you to work with Derek.
Sure, I know Derek real well.
Because usually it's...
Yeah, and I can
Okay.
just make my comments and...
Yes.
From the standpoint, just make it a non-exclusive sidewalk easement, I think that's... And we need to clarify that number 2 and number 7 don't conflict, because number 2 says the village has the right but not the obligation to construct and maintain, whereas number 7 says the village will be responsible for maintenance. We just need to resolve that conflict about maintenance. There's a hold harmless, there's not a hold harmless. I think it's important if the district owns the underlying land and the village has the easement, that to the extent authorized by Florida law, without waiving or extending sovereign immunity, that the village holds the district harmless. Trips, falls, that's the cottage industry that David well knows, we all know about.
Yeah, no, that's all fine.
Yeah,
Those are the things we want to add.
And is this in the same area as the slope easement, David, or not? Does it encumber?
Well, there's actually 2 locations. One of them is located near Stony Brook Golf Drive. The other one's kind of midway between Stony Brook Golf Drive and Stony Brook Golf Boulevard. So the one that's by Stony Brook Golf Drive would be the same. It's a smaller area than the slope easement.
Okay, so we need to clarify that
And
here
then
too.
the other one is separate.
Okay, we need to clarify that here because it says it's free of all other liens and encumbrances. And so that easement that overlaps, we need to sort of carve that one out as an exception, except for that area with the slope easement. And I guess the question is, does the board, or just we'll clarify the word structures. I mean, typically structures are either 18 inches or 36 inches above the ground. We just need to clarify what that means in paragraph 5. It says we can use it for landscaping except trees, walkway, drainage, or similar uses provided no structures are constructed. And I'm not sure what's meant by that, so we can just discuss that with the village attorney, if that's okay, Madam Chair.
That's fine, yes.
So there's a couple of things that Derek and I can chat about.
Okay. So we'll have to wait till you speak with Derek and...
Yeah, I'll send it after, today I'll send Derek an email and sign up the time to talk with him, David, if that's okay. I can always harass Bert, too, but
Either one.
I know.
Harass whoever, whenever.
I've known Bert for 35 years.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. I don't know if you know that. So I'll do that, Madam Chair, with it.
Okay, that's
And
fine.
recognizing also, I think, that the message from the board also is, David, they'd like to see better renderings and graphics of what will be there, what's the scope,
Yeah,
as opposed to just this overhead shot.
That just wasn't available yet.
Okay.
It will be available shortly.
And the other thing that I want to make sure of in looking at different things, and I know that the DOT or the county said that they would help with the landscaping there. I just want to make sure that it's not the minimum required, that we get something more on the line of, and I know we can't get the mature trees that we had there, but I want to make sure it's not, I mean, because I know there's a minimum that's required. I don't want the minimum. I want to be able to have a buffer for the people in Weymouth, because it's just,
Yeah, it definitely wouldn't be the minimum.
Okay.